Dead Art Studios. I'm going to do some quick little paintings tonight, maybe 2. I'm going to use this A5 watercolour paper that I got off at Amazon. It says it's 100% cotton. It's got quite a nice texture on it, and I've not used it before. It's 300 GSM, so let's see how it goes really with my style of painting. I've taped some paper down just on the very edges so it doesn't move around. And I'm going to start today with some Liquitex Basics. Got brown, burnt umber, should I say. And I've got burnt sienna, more brown. And I got orange in between browns. So I'm just going to get straight on with it. Undo that lid. Put some orange in the middle. I've used quite a lot of this, so you need to give it a good squeeze. There we go, a little blob right in the middle of the paper like that. And we're going to be painting with blades again tonight. So this is a little scraper blade that you can get for like glass scrapers that you clean your palette with and things like that. And then that's a Stanley knife blade. On the bottom, burnt umber. Keep it nice and dark down there. And then let's put the burnt sienna up on the top. There we go. See what happens. We're just experimenting, playing around. And the way I do these quick paintings is I get some Liquitex Basics acrylics white and squirt it on. And then we're going to hit it with the brush. Just going to check that my above camera is in focus. Looks in focus. Right, my brush is probably slightly too wet. I washed it before we started. Just got it damp. Right, that's good. So left to right strokes, just move my blades out of the way so that I don't get them covered in paint. Left to right strokes, just making horizontal lines and covering all the texture in that paper. But in a bit, we're going to use that texture to scrape back out and create some interesting patterns. Right, there's a bit of dirt in there. Let's get that off with a finger. Just wipe it on the side. There's a bit of dried paint off of a lid. Right. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to wash the brush. Okay, so brush washed. Give it a little dry. Just leave it for when we use it again. Right, now, which blade to use first? Let's use the Stanley knife blade first, okay? And then just where this bit on the bottom here gets kind of darker, I'm going to just pull up to where it starts to get orange. Okay, have a look at that. Okay. Wipe the excess paint off. Then I'm going to get the small blade and I'm just going to go right to left. Do a little shimmy like that. And then with the paint that's left on there, I'll come back down to the bottom and scrape up. And where that shimmy is, I think I'm going to do the same. And then I'm going to come across again. There. Then I'm going to wipe that. Try not to get paint everywhere, but inevitably you get paint everywhere, don't you? Right. Put that out of the way. So what we're going to do next? We're going to get something a little bit different. I think we're just going to get the burnt umber, something nice and dark. I'll try and stick to these browns for now. I might throw a different colour in a bit. I'll put that down onto the board. This is just an old bit of shelf that I've been using to paint on. Right, and I've took a little sort of wedge of paint on the end there. And we're going to just pick a line, the bottom one I think, and go up. And we'll just keep doing that. We'll take more each time and we'll see what happens. And the more you sort of lean into it, the more paint it puts down. And we want quite a lot of paint on, so let's lean in quite a lot. Okay, let's do the same on that next line up there. Okay, so what have we got? I think we need some little lines of interest along here. Just dip in, rotate the blade to get a bit of dark on there. And I think we need to just keep doing that for a bit and create some little ridges, I think. That one's a bit off, so let's try again. Rotate the blade again, dip in. Okay. And then just maybe on some angles, slight angles, nothing too crazy. Dip in there. Now we'll turn the blade so that it's vertical. And we'll just do some little lines vertically into this foreground bit here. That looks okay. And we'll do some here. Now, do I want to keep these super vertical or do I want to crisscross a bit? I think whatever happens, happens. I think I want a bit more paint to do that. Where's my burnt umber? Here it is. Put that down again. Just a little thin streak. Try to pick up the blade without getting paint all over my fingers. Lean into it a little bit. Dab off any excess and then verticals again. There we go. Scrape through some more paint. Verticals again. Some quite heavy lines up there. That's okay. I'll just kind of bring those down lower as well. Down to the bottom there. And an upward stroke. Quite a lot of paint on, like that. There we go. That's kind of looking okay. Carry on with our verticals over here. I've got some more heavy lines there. Drop that down. You know, the point of these paintings is just to relax and put some paint on paper and not have to worry too much about what's happening. And sometimes you get a good one. Sometimes you don't. Pull up a bit more there, create a sort of foreground. And I'm keeping it loose and abstract and, you know, just patterns in the paint. But I'm also kind of trying to create some sort of landscape as well. Okay. Now, I think so far this one is not filling me with joy. And one reason is I'm not the biggest fan of browns, but that's why I'm using them. I've got a lot of brown to get through. Burnt siennas, burnt umbers. So I'm trying to use them. I do quite like the sky. Let's wipe off this and see what happens if we scratch a bit. do some scratching with this, just very corner of the blade. I mean, quite an interesting style of painting this just with a blade. I like it. You know, you can use the palette knife, and lots of people use the palette knife. And then I thought, oh, I'll try this, and it is actually a bit more precise in some ways and gives its own sort of effect. So I use it all the time now, and I do enjoy it. So far, quite like this paper. Not as nice as the Fabriano that I've used before. I mean, I think there's lots of paper. I've not tried many in comparison to what's available, but the Fabriano seems to be my favourite at the moment. Right, so I think I'm going to put some white down quite a bit, and I'm going to just try and be a bit crazy and do a streak up from the bottom, like almost layer over it. Quite a lot of paint, like that much, look. And then just get it and drag it up. Right on the edge, drag it up. Drag it up. We're just playing around with paint. There we go. And as the paper gets sort of damper with the paint that we're putting on it, it does start to bend and curl a bit. It's not a problem. You can always spray the back of the paper afterwards and put it on under a few bucks, and that'll flatten it out again. Or if I mount them onto cardboard mounting board, and then that'll just flatten them straight out anyway. So no need to worry about that. But one interesting side effect of that is it'll affect where the blade goes and doesn't. So that can create some interesting and unpredictable effects. Right, we've got quite a lot of that left. Let's just drag it across the sky. There we go. That worked out kind of all right. I do think I'd like to clean that edge a bit more up though. And get some like right onto there. That's okay. Right. Now let's smear it this way. See what happens. The top I'm liking, the bottom I'm not. So we're just gonna smooth into it. And we'll keep going until we get something we like, or until I throw this in the bin and don't put this video on YouTube. One of the two. And clean that right off. Pop it down. Right, so what's this time? Let's have a look if we scratch again. How that helps. Long, big, wavy scratches this time. Just a little tilt off at the end. Okay, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And I think if we get some black and put that right at the bottom, I'm getting very low on black. I've got an Amazon order that I need to do, but for some reason I'm procrastinating on it. I don't know if you ever get that, where you've got a few things to get and then for some reason you just don't get them, which is strange because obviously normally buying cool paint and stuff off of Amazon is normally quite exciting, but every now and again I just put off buying things. But I really do need to get some. Quite interesting little effect. And a bit over here. Okay, let's do some vertical sort of little imprints. There's quite a bit of paint on that. I've got another blade here. I can scrape it off and then just dab it back onto the board there. And then that way we should be able to do some nice vertical lines. Sort of over and in between the ones we did before. I'm liking it more. I'm liking it more. We're getting there. I'm just starting while I'm doing this to think about whether I'm going to add any other colours. Maybe some orange. What about some reds though? What about something red? Could be quite interesting. Okay. And the last little bit of black just on this horizon up here. Just mix that in. Create a little bit more interest. Got a bit of white left as well, so what can we do with that? Maybe the same. Just a bit lighter and a bit more sporadically, maybe. That's quite interesting. As we're pulling up there, we're getting the orange coming through. Let's play with that a bit. Okay, what happens here if we do that? Nothing spectacular. Okay. I like the colours. I don't really know. What that's adding though. Let's have a look. Scratching. Got a little bit of cadmium orange in this one. Let's try and squeeze it out. Yeah, there we go. That's come out. Getting towards the end of that one. Let's take the brush, still a bit wet, dip it into the orange and just bring it over here. And get rid of it. Bit more orange. Move the brush onto the side just to get into those bits of paper that are showing. Okay. Right, I'm going to wet this brush a bit more. Let's blend away. And have another go. In here and down here. Okay. We had a play, didn't go to plan. Push it over, start again. Now let's see what kind of effects we get if we pull up. Very muted this time. To be expected. Couple of horizontals, one more for the sky. Yeah, let's just rub that through. Okay. Bit of white. Chunk on there. Horizontal that through as well. Get that bit of dirt out. That keeps finding its way back onto the painting. Okay. Same sort of idea as before. But all the paint's laid down a bit differently, so we're going to get different effects. I'm trying to put it on quite thick at the minute. Okay. Scrape that off. Put it back on the board. Now this one is kind of mucky looking, but I actually don't mind it as much as the last one. It's got something going for it a bit more. Let's get that orange back out. Put some lines of orange in. Squirt it out. There we go. Run the blade through. And let's start up here. Just laying orange down. get the bigger blade on the side, just pull up like that. Okay, then back to the smaller blade. Lean in a bit more, find that line a bit better. And then down at the bottom, okay. And then what I think we'll do is we'll put something in the middle. We'll call that one finished. So let's have a look. Something kind of bold. Got some permanent rose here. So let's get that onto the board, if I can. Nearly run out of that one. There we go. And I think I'll use the Stanley knife blade, the bigger blade, on this edge here and drag it across. I'll kind of collect all the paint up like that. And just, maybe totally from the edge. Maybe totally from the edge. And walk it across. Do that one more time, a bit higher. Okay, that's nice. Trying to tap that paint down, it's not budging. I'm just gonna pull it up. Okay. Scratch through. Get the white that we used before. Down on the bottom of that permanent rose. Then up near the top. Okay. Along there as well. Just try and use all the paint since we've got it. Now I've got this bit here that's sticking up. I'm not sure I totally like that. So just going to pull and change it a bit. That works a bit nicer. Let's drag the corner through there. And there. Down at the bottom again. And that's just going to pull a few of the colours that we've used higher up down onto these bottom bits, help it complement a little bit more. Okay, can we put anything vertical on there? There we do it. I don't think so. I think I am going to just draw a little line through there. Maybe just a faint little line through there. I think we're going to stop with that one and untape it. Pull the tape off. And we'll have a look. Let's show it up here. Okay. And let's show it on this camera as well. So that is a little painting that we've just done. Shall we do another? Let's do another. So, what paint can we use? Let's just use some really wacky colours. So this one is Portrait Pink. Slap some of that on. And get some more of this Permanent Rose on. Smear that in. Try not to damage the paper. Alright, and then we'll put some white on and we'll just blend those two. Good dollop of white. Get that little bump out. Is my brush wet? Yeah. Probably a bit too wet. Just dry it off a little bit. And we're going to be pulling in some of that old paint from the last painting into the new one. Okay. Make sure that we're getting everything covered. Okay. Wash the brush. Right, so I might see if I can use some more of this Permanent Rose. We'll try and squeeze out every last drop. I think this one is it. I need to start throwing the tubes away actually, rather than just putting them back. I need to say, this is it. This is the last atom of paint. Oh, now I can feel some more in there. There we go. Puts it back in the bag. Right, about halfway up, just a bit above. Scratching upwards. Very nice colour actually. Okay, let's take it and pull down. and pull across. And then lean in on the bottom line that we've just created. Okay. Now with the wet brush, just blend this bit that we've scraped away. But try not to touch that bottom bit. Okay. I'll wash the brush in a second. I don't think this one's going to take too long. The problem with plastic tubes is when you get towards the end, it's a lot harder to squeeze the last bit out. With the metal ones, you can sort of roll it and get it out a bit easier. Right, pull up from the bottom. That bit's a bit too pronounced there, so let's kind of do the other bits to catch up with it in a way. And then just along here, lean in with the black. And down here. Maybe we want a little bit more. There we go. Plenty came out there. It's a never-ending tube of paint, that one. There we go. It's quite a nice thick line. That's a bit too much. Heavy with paint onto the blade and then dripping it on almost. Okay, good. I think we'll do the same up there. Now, just put in these verticals up here, just playing around. It's looking kind of cool. Some are floating, some are joined. Okay, that's nice. Do we make the sky more moody with some black? It's a bit... I'm just looking. I like the simplicity, but also there's not enough happening. Okay. Don't know about that. Scrape that through. Do lots of little lines here because we've got to put something in this second section of foreground. I feel. Then I think the sky might get done again with the brush, and that little middle bit, I'll try and keep that quite blended and clean. So we might do that again with the brush. Whoa, we got some paint on there, didn't we? Okay. Change of plan. And it's a bit too clean up there, so let's just pull up to that bit. And then let's scratch across. Gone too far there. Pull back down. Then scratch across. Quite like that. Just going to wash the brush, and then we'll blend that little middle bit, do the sky. Then I might put some more strong pink going up there. Dab the brush, just okay, and get some white. Now this is where it could all come together, or it could all go totally wrong. Let's see which one it is. Do not really want to get that lower bit involved. Let's get the paint on up here as well. Let's just blob that on. drag through again. See if we can get out this darker pink here. Can we tease out a little bit more permanent rose just to finish this painting off? I think we can. Right, let's get this in a good spot. Oh no. Gonna run out of video space on my phone up there, I would think, at this rate. There we go. He's out. Just wet that brush a little bit and then we'll be done. Okay, that's done, I think. Still got quite a bit of permanent rose actually. Let's just pull that from the bottom into that black. And then pull it up a bit and thin it out a bit. And a few scratches. Untaping. And we'll show you the painting. Oh, there's a little bit of dry paint on it there, but I'm going to leave that until the painting's dry. So there's a painting. Above, and I'll show you guys on this camera as well. I know you're the same guys, but I'll show you here and here. There we go. Dead Art Studios. I'll see you next time.